Growing up in the 1990s, 30 things you'll never forget. If you grew up in the 90s, you'll remember a time before everything went digital, a decade of exciting transitions. It was a period filled with unforgettable icons, from rebellious fashion to diverse music and habits that truly shaped a generation. Join us as we explore 30 things that only those who truly lived through the 90s can remember. We were truly the last generation to genuinely live life authentically. Friday night video rentals, VHS. Friday nights used to be sacred, an indispensable ritual tied to visiting video rental stores like Blockbuster, Hollywood Video, or Suncoast. In the era before streaming services, choosing a VHS movie from thousands of neatly arranged cassettes on the shelves was a genuine experience. The thrill of finally picking out the latest blockbuster or classic Disney animated film and then rushing home to enjoy it was simply magical. This wasn't just about picking a movie, it was a small adventure, creating a unique magic in directly choosing films from the shelves, touching each tape box, and reading the plot summary. Movies back then, though sometimes grainy, blurry, or requiring tracking adjustments on the VCR for a clearer picture, were all part of the charm. It taught us patience and to appreciate every precious moment of entertainment. Each Friday night with VHS is an indelible memory of a time when home entertainment had a completely different meaning. Do you have any unforgettable memories of those video rental nights or your first time connecting to the internet? Share them with us. Portable CD players, Discman. In the early 90s, portable CD players, also known as Discmans, began to replace the familiar cassette Walkmans, bringing a significant upgrade to personal music listening. The era of manually rewinding tapes or flipping sides was a thing of the past. Now, you could simply pop a shiny CD into the player and skip straight to your favorite song with ease, enjoying crystal clear, smooth, and much more vibrant sound quality compared to old cassette tapes. While Discmans weren't perfect, they were still prone to skipping if bumped hard, despite integrated anti-skip technology. Owning a CD player and trying to keep it steady to avoid music interruptions became a cherished memory. It was a symbol of advanced technology at the time, making CDs the future of portable music. The Discman was our gateway into the world of personal music, offering unprecedented freedom and sound quality, and was an essential item in every 90s kid's backpack. Dial-up internet sounds and early internet. In the early 90s, the internet was still very new, and connecting required a special ritual: the distinctive, unmistakable dial-up sound. It was a combination of clicks, hums, and electronic screeches that gradually blended together, signaling that you were about to enter the virtual world. Internet speeds were incredibly slow back then. An image could take a full minute to load piece by piece from top to bottom. The scariest thing was when you were in the middle of exploring a new website, and someone in the house picked up the phone, interrupting your entire connection and forcing you to start all over again. However, despite these limitations, the excitement of exploring new websites, playing simple games like Doom or Duke Nukem Online, or even just chatting in online chat rooms was a unique experience. It was a privilege only techies or early adopters enjoyed. Though challenging, the internet began to reshape life, with user numbers skyrocketing by the end of the decade. It ushered in a new era of information and connectivity, laying the foundation for the digital world we live in today. Disposable cameras. Before smartphones became an indispensable part of everyone's pockets, disposable cameras were everywhere and were often the only way to capture moments. From noisy birthday parties to romantic weddings and school field trips, these small plastic cameras were reliable companions. They were simple, easy to use, and most importantly, you didn't have to worry about losing or damaging an expensive device. The greatest joy of using disposable cameras lay in the delightful surprise of waiting for the film to be developed days later. You had no idea what you had captured or if the photos would be in focus until you held them in your hands. Even if half the photos were blurry, overexposed, or had someone with their eyes closed, it didn't matter. That very imperfection created a vintage charm that is hard to find today. 3.5-inch floppy disks. Before USBs, portable hard drives, or cloud storage became popular, floppy disks were our primary data storage medium in the 90s. Especially the 3.5-inch type, encased in a sturdy hard plastic shell with a small metal slider in the corner, protecting the magnetic surface inside. This small disk, with a storage capacity of only about 1.40 MB, could hold important school documents, simple work files, or even small games shared among friends. The characteristic clicking sound of the metal slider as you inserted the disk into the drive, along with the whirring of the computer as it tried to read data, was a familiar sign, indicating that your file was loading or being accessed. Although the capacity was incredibly low by today's standards, at the time, being able to physically store and move data felt like the future. Do you remember the glue smell from new shoes or the clacking sound of floppy disks when booting up a computer? Share your memories in the comments below. Encarta encyclopedia on CD-ROM. Before the age of Google and smartphones, when information wasn't easily accessible with a click, Encarta appeared as a CD-ROM encyclopedia and felt like the future. Instead of flipping through thousands of pages in bulky encyclopedias, you could spend hours exploring the world of knowledge with just a few clicks, moving from one topic to another purely out of curiosity. From ancient history to rare animals, everything was contained within that small CD. Encarta wasn't just for dull school projects. Sometimes you'd simply open it for entertainment. It included illustrative audio clips, interactive timelines, and short videos, making topics come alive. Encarta's Mind Maze quiz game even made you feel like a true genius when you answered questions correctly about geography, history, or science. Pogs, the game. Pogs were one of the sensational phenomena that defined the 90s. They were everywhere, in kids' backpacks, on school playgrounds, and in every pocket. The game was simple but incredibly captivating. You'd gather friends, each with their own stack of Pogs, ready to battle to win your opponent's Pogs. The main goal was to knock other people's Pogs out of their stack using your slammer, a thicker, heavier disc. The fun wasn't just in the game, it was also in collecting, trading, and showing off the coolest, rarest Pogs with images ranging from cartoons and superheroes to unique designs. The feeling of winning a trade to get your dream Pog, or knocking out a rare Pog from an opponent, was unbeatable. Saturday morning cartoons. Saturday mornings in the 90s were a magical time thanks to the golden era of cartoons. It was a simple yet captivating routine. Waking up earlier than your parents, pouring yourself a bowl of sugary cereal, and sitting in front of the TV for hours enjoying classic cartoons like Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, The Jetsons, or Super Friends. The familiar theme songs of those shows were the opening sounds for a relaxing and adventurous weekend. This wasn't just TV time, it was an event, a ritual that transformed Saturday mornings into magic and anticipation. Parents knew not to disturb their children at this hour, as this was when kids fully escaped into their favorite cartoon worlds, where imagination soared without limits. The mall, the hangout spot. The mall in the 90s was a popular and important social gathering spot for teenagers. After school, instead of being glued to phones or computer screens, friends would often bike, walk, or get a ride from their parents to the mall. It was where they could wander through stores, meet up, chat, and kill time together without too much adult supervision. Spending time at the mall symbolized freedom and social connection before the era of mobile phones and social media. Young people could try on clothes at fashion stores, browse music stores for the latest albums, or simply sit in the food court and chat for hours. The mall was a community space where teenage memories were made, friendships were solidified, and young people felt like they belonged. Outdoor play and lack of constant supervision. One of the defining characteristics of childhood in the 90s was that children and teenagers spent most of their time outdoors exploring the world around them without constant adult supervision. They often biked all over the streets, played team sports on fields, explored nearby woods, or simply roamed the surrounding neighborhoods. Without mobile phones, parents rarely knew where their children were, creating a sense of freedom, adventure, and independence for childhood. Streetlights turning on was the unspoken signal, an automatic sign to go home, indicating it was time for dinner and the end of a long day of play. Life was slower and small. Simple things became much more meaningful. Playing outdoors not only helped children develop physically, but also nurtured their imagination, problem-solving skills, and social interaction naturally. It's a memory of a carefree childhood, associated with sunny afternoons and limitless adventures. The rise of the SUV, sports utility vehicle. For many Americans in the 90s, the preferred and iconic vehicle was the sports utility vehicle, SUV. SUV sales doubled in just 8 years from 1990 to 1998, with over 3 million units sold in 1998 alone. This made SUVs one of the most popular vehicle types ever produced, appearing everywhere on American roads. Initially designed for off-road driving, SUVs quickly transcended their original purpose and became a fashionable family car, offering ample space for passengers and cargo. Designers made SUVs more comfortable, adding amenities like modern CD sound systems and luxurious leather interiors. The SUV wasn't just a mode of transportation, it represented a lifestyle, a symbol of convenience, safety, and a bit of flair for middle-class American families in a prosperous decade. PB Crisps, snack food. PB Crisps were a wildly beloved snack from the 90s, and to this day, many still regret their discontinuation. These cookies had a unique peanut-like shape and were filled with smooth peanut butter cream. There were also versions with chocolate cream filling, or even a combination of peanut and jelly, creating distinctive and unforgettable flavors. The crispy outer shell of the cookie and the smooth cream filling inside created a perfect snacking experience, combining multiple textures and flavors in one bite. Although PB Crisps no longer exist on the market, for those who had the chance to enjoy them, they still evoke delicious and sweet memories of the 90s. If you could turn back time, would you want to experience life in the 90s? What's your reason? Dressing down. Casual at work. In the early 90s, dressing down at work, meaning wearing casual clothes to the office instead of traditional business attire, was not common. However, in just a few short years, this trend became extremely popular. Employers and employees alike referred to it as casual day, or more commonly, casual Friday, a day of the week when everyone could dress more comfortably. As casual workdays became more prevalent in American corporations, people seemed to have lower expectations for formal wear, and casual attire was gradually widely accepted. Even President Bill Clinton frequently appeared in casual attire while jogging or during everyday activities, which showed that this cultural shift had spread to all social strata. The movie Clueless. The film Clueless, 1995, was not just entertaining cinema, but also an icon of 90s fashion and teen culture. With its vibrant outfits, witty dialogues, and the portrayal of a stylish group of high school girls in Beverly Hills, the film shaped and popularized the sexy schoolgirl style. This style, with its plaid sets, fitted jackets, and unique accessories, became the dream of many young girls. Although Clueless was arguably exaggerated for entertainment purposes, satirizing the lifestyle of wealthy youth, many viewers still found parts of themselves in the characters and their interactions. The film created strong fashion trends as people watched and wanted to imitate the unique styles of the characters, especially Cher Horowitz. Grunge fashion. In the early 90s, grunge fashion became popular and had a strong influence on both men and women. The band Nirvana, with their 1991 album Nevermind, is considered the catalyst that sparked this trend, representing a rebellion against the elaborate and extravagant fashion of the 80s. Grunge was not just a style of dress, it was an attitude, a statement of nonchalance and authenticity. This style included oversized flannel shirts, often plaid and baggy, casually ripped jeans, old band t-shirts, beanie hats, and worn-out Converse sneakers. Kurt Cobain of Nirvana was an icon of this sloppy, cool style, easily acquired from thrift stores, reflecting a desire not to care about luxurious fashion or appearances. Although it rose quickly and became an icon, Grunge fashion peaked and gradually faded by the end of the decade, giving way to other trends, but its legacy remains. Hip-hop fashion influence. Parallel to the rise of grunge, hip-hop music also had a major influence on fashion, especially men's fashion in the 90s. This style focused on dynamic and comfortable sportswear, including backward baseball caps, varsity jackets, baggy basketball shorts, colorful tracksuits, and oversized hoodies. Hip-hop brought a fresh, free-spirited, and individualistic vibe, completely different from what was popular before. Artists like Will Smith, with his role in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, helped popularize bright, sometimes eccentric colors and patterns, seamlessly integrated into the hip-hop style. This demonstrated the strong influence of music not only on personal style, but also on the everyday dress culture of young people. Minimalism and slip dresses. Women's fashion in the last decade of the 20th century continued towards a simple, elegant, and minimalist style, reflecting a shift in the perception of beauty. In particular, the slip dress became an icon of minimalist style in the mid-90s. This delicate, soft dress, often made of silk or satin, offered a gentle yet undeniably alluring look. Silk versions were often worn for formal occasions, exuding sophistication and refinement. Meanwhile, a more common daytime style was the slip dress worn over a simple white t-shirt, creating a combination of sexy and dynamic, free-spirited flair. This shift marked minimalism not just as a fleeting trend, but as a dominant and lasting current in fashion. Sexy schoolgirl style. The sexy schoolgirl style gained strong popularity in the mid-90s, prominently featured in hit films and iconic music videos. A prime example is the movie Clueless, 1995, which defined the fashion sense for many young girls with its plaid dresses, fitted jackets, and knee-high socks. Later, Britney Spears' Baby One More Time music video at the end of the decade strongly reinforced this trend, with the singer dressed in a stylized schoolgirl outfit. This type of outfit included undersized sweaters, cropped or fitted, baby doll t-shirts, short, fitted at the bust and slightly flared, along with knee-high socks. This was a style favored by many young women because it reflected a youthful, somewhat rebellious fashion trend while maintaining an innocent charm, blending sexiness with the innocence of school age. Oversized sweatshirts and jeans, wardrobe staples. In the wardrobes of both men and women in the 90s, baggy clothes and jeans became indispensable staples. This trend was not just a passing fad, but a continuation of the casual dressing style that began in the late 80s and became widespread in the 90s, representing a permanent change in society's attitude towards dress. People began to prioritize comfort and practicality over formality or elaborateness. Utilitarian styles with practical items like cargo pants with pockets and simple sweatshirts from brands like The Gap also became very popular for everyday wear. Notably, this shift also extended to the workplace. Dressing down, casual day or casual Friday, became common, making jeans and sneakers acceptable in almost every workplace. This showed a significant shift in dress culture where the line between casual and office wear became increasingly blurred, bringing a more relaxed and free lifestyle. Disney character apparel for kids. For children growing up in the 90s, t-shirts and sweatshirts with logos, especially Disney cartoon character images, were essential and beloved items. The early to mid-90s saw the release of many popular Disney animated films, such as The Lion King, The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. These films not only became cultural phenomena, but also created a children's fashion craze. Children frequently wore clothing themed after their favorite movies and cartoon characters, from t-shirts featuring Simba and Ariel to classic Disney logo sweatshirts. This demonstrated the strong influence of popular culture and cinema on children's fashion, making cartoon characters an indispensable part of kids' wardrobes. Owning and wearing these clothes was not only a way to express love for characters, but also a sign of keeping up with prevailing trends among youth, creating a shared identity for 90s childhood. Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen's fashion influence. For girls growing up in the 90s, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen were major fashion influencers throughout the decade. Starting at a very young age, the twins became style icons, from their identical matching outfits in early 90s movies like Double, Double, Toil, and Trouble, to their more distinct individual styles as they grew older. Girls often watched their movies and TV shows to learn and imitate their fashion sense. Their ability to showcase contrasting styles, Mary-Kate often favored pants and an energetic tomboy look, while Ashley preferred dresses and a more feminine, dainty style, allowed them to attract a large audience with diverse personalities. This allowed every girl to find a role model that suited her. Which fashion style shaped your wardrobe the most? Or what fashion item do you remember most from that decade? Share with us in the comments below. Nirvana and the rise of alternative rock. One of the most influential musical trends of the 1990s was the strong rise of grunge and alternative rock. Pioneering bands like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and Soundgarden emerged from the Seattle music scene, bringing a raw, soulful, and rebellious sound that resonated deeply with the disillusionment of youth. Their music was a breath of fresh air, a complete contrast to the glamour of hair metal and the monotony of mainstream pop at the time. The resounding success of albums like Nirvana's Nevermind not only brought grunge into the mainstream, but also challenged the dominance of other music genres. However, Kurt Cobain's tragic death in April 1994 is considered a turning point, marking the decline of rock before the strong rise of rap and hip-hop. Nevertheless, the legacy of Nirvana and alternative rock endures, shaping a generation of music lovers and opening doors for many subgenres to develop later, affirming a golden era of rebellious music. The golden era of hip-hop. Tupac, the Notorious B.I.G. The 90s witnessed the golden era of hip-hop, with iconic artists like Tupac Shakur, the Notorious B.I.G., and Wu-Tang Clan making a huge impact on the music industry and popular culture. Gangsta rap became a prominent subgenre, with artists like N.W.A. and Snoop Dogg pushing musical boundaries, boldly addressing complex social issues, violence, and street life through their lyrics. The fierce East Coast versus West Coast rivalry, especially between Tupac and Biggie, added a layer of intrigue and drama to the hip-hop scene, culminating in the tragic deaths of both. Despite controversies, hip-hop became the best-selling music genre by the mid-1990s, solidifying its position. Songs frequently use sampling and variations from old songs as a way to celebrate the end of the second millennium and the 20th century. The pop music explosion, boy bands and girl groups. The 90s was also a decade marked by the undeniable explosion of pop music, with boy bands and girl groups dominating music charts and the hearts of millions of fans. Legendary groups like Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, Spice Girls, and Destiny's Child captivated audiences globally with catchy melodies, memorable lyrics, and captivating synchronized dance moves. This era also saw the strong rise of young and talented female solo artists like Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera, who showcased confidence, individuality, and promoted messages of female empowerment through their music. Additionally, Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston were prominent R&B pop vocalists, with extraordinary vocal ranges and timeless ballads, continuing to affirm their status in this decade. Electronic music and rave culture. The 90s witnessed the strong rise of electronic dance music, EDM, with genres like techno and house becoming increasingly popular, gradually entering the mainstream. Pioneering artists like The Prodigy and Daft Punk brought electronic music out of underground clubs, creating captivating, energetic, and vibrant melodies that filled dance floors worldwide. Their music wasn't just for listening, but for feeling, for immersing oneself in the pulsating rhythms. Rave culture also thrived in this decade, becoming an indispensable part of youth culture. Large outdoor parties, often lasting all night or even several days, with high-energy electronic music, dazzling light effects, and a free atmosphere, attracted thousands of participants. Rave culture was defined by mysterious underground parties, where music was central and everyone grooved together to the rhythm. Despite some controversies regarding drug use, rave remained an important cultural phenomenon, shaping a distinct aspect of the 90s. The country music boom, Garth Brooks, line dancing. The popularity of country music exploded in the early 1990s, extending beyond traditional boundaries and becoming a beloved genre across America. Garth Brooks, with his captivating performance style and hit songs, broke all records for album sales and concert attendance, becoming one of the most influential artists in country music history. He brought country music to a wider audience than ever before. In the mid-decade, some recordings were also influenced by the popularity of line dancing, a fun and easy-to-learn group dance performed in bars and community events. Songs like Boot Scootin' Boogie by Brooks and Dunn and Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus became the soundtrack for millions of amateur dancers. The combination of traditional country music and pop elements also became popular, with Shania Twain and Faith Hill being prime examples, delivering more modern ballads and upbeat songs. The pop-punk breakthrough, Green Day, Blink-182. Punk rock in the United States, a genre once considered underground and only for a niche audience, experienced a strong revival in the early to mid-1990s. Skate punk bands like Green Day and later pop-punk bands like Blink-182 achieved great commercial success worldwide, bringing the genre into the spotlight. They delivered an energetic sound, teenage-themed lyrics, dissatisfaction, and catchy melodies, combining the rawness of punk with the accessibility of pop. Green Day's album Dookie, released in 1994, sold 10 million copies in the US and another 10 million worldwide. This figure shows the breakthrough potential of a genre once considered unsuitable for the mass market. Green Day and Blink-182 were not just bands. They were the voices of a young generation who felt lost and sought to find common ground in music. Their success paved the way for many other pop-punk bands in later years, solidifying the genre's position as a major force in rock music. The TV show Friends. Friends, a sitcom about the lives of a stylish group of young people living in New York City, became one of the most popular and influential television shows of the 90s. With its humorous situations, witty dialogues, and complex relationships among six friends, Friends was not just an entertainment program, but also a mirror reflecting the lives and cultural trends of urban youth at the time. The Friends theme song, I'll Be There For You by the Rembrandts, with its characteristic clapping sequence, also defined the decade, resonating with millions of viewers and becoming a symbol of friendship. The show is a prime example of a lifestyle sitcom, where audiences not only laughed but also found common ground, fashion inspiration, friendship, and independent urban living. Friends left a huge cultural legacy, still beloved today, proving the timeless power of stories about friendship and everyday life. Significant drop in crime rates. The 90s were not just an era of cultural change, but also witnessed a significant improvement in social security. The crime epidemic peaked in the early 1990s before beginning a steady decline throughout the Clinton administration. Specifically, dropped impressively by up to 43%. This was a positive aspect, bringing a greater sense of safety and optimism to people across the country. This decline is attributed to a combination of factors such as greater economic prosperity, which created more job opportunities and reduced social pressure. Additionally, lower alcohol consumption and improved security technology also contributed to this positive trend. The reduction in crime rates created a more stable and safer living environment, allowing people, especially children, to freely explore and enjoy life without too much worry. Increased acceptance of homosexuality. In the 90s, one of the most notable social changes was the increasing acceptance of homosexuality, clearly different from previous decades. Gay men and women made significant efforts to integrate into mainstream American life, fighting for their rights and equality. Society began to have a more open view, and more Americans than ever before accepted homosexuality as a natural part of human diversity. According to a Times CNN poll in 1998, a surprisingly large percentage, 64% of respondents, believed that homosexual relations were acceptable. This figure shows a rapid shift in social thinking and views in a short period. Although there were still difficulties and prejudices for some individuals, this change occurred at a blistering pace, marking one of the beautiful social moments of the 90s. It ushered in a new era of tolerance, understanding, and equal rights for the LGBTQ+ community, laying the groundwork for greater progress in the 21st century. The absence of social media and authentic connection. One of the biggest differences between the 90s and today is the absence of social media. People had to connect with each other in more traditional ways. Landline phone calls or simply showing up at a friend's house and knocking on the door. Interactions primarily happened directly, face-to-face, which encouraged more open and genuine communication. Without the pressure to update statuses or post photos online, life moved slower, and people could live fully in the present moment. The lack of social media also meant less pressure from comparing oneself to others or online bullying. This created a less stressful social environment, where friendships were built on real interactions and shared memories. The 90s were truly a decade of diversity and innovation, where music, fashion, and technology trends exploded, shaping a generation with distinct personalities. From legendary VHS movie nights to carefree outdoor games without phones, these memories still live on in our minds. We hope this trip down memory lane brought you many emotions and valuable nostalgic moments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video to not miss out on our next memory journeys with Back the Yesterday. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.